Okay, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to Watch Dares TV. I'm back with another review, and this one is of The Handmaid's Tale, Season 5, Episode 5, Fairytale. If you like the TV show Handmaid's Tale, like, comment, subscribe, share this video, and I'll be doing a review of every episode of this season. So let's start with this review, okay? So this episode was really good. This one happened a little bit more context going on to things of the past. We got sort of an idea of newer characters involved, and just the story just overall evolving better. The episode starts with June thinking about Hannah, her daughter at aquarium. We have different flashbacks throughout this episode of the past before Gilead took over and all the whole story really started. Lily gives June some info about some stuff that can help her be able to exchange some messages and stuff like that with things going on in Gilead with Hannah. So her, Moira, and Luke, they go to find some more information and meet up with Lily. Serena seems to be enjoying her new home and basically her servants. And they look at her almost sort of like, I believe, like Mary Magdalene. Like she's like some sort of pregnant goddess or something like that. That's the way they look at Serena. Like, she's, maybe the second coming or something. So she's, just sort of being worshipped and held up in high regard and stuff like that. Mainly seem like only because she's pregnant. So, she's, I guess, the first pregnancy I think they've had or something in this world of Gilead. So Luke tells June and they end up finding out that something's going on where they have to go across the border. And Luke tells June that he's going to go across to the U.S., I believe it was. I could be getting that wrong, but he was going to go on a journey to save Hannah, and she decides to go with him. So that's what most of this episode goes along with Luke and June going to search for Hannah. June has flashbacks of when her family was first captured right before the show, around the time the show started. So that's, like I said, that's the theme of this episode, is her having these flashbacks. Well, also we get some more backstory on Serena. It's sort of the irony that we see flashbacks of June losing her family while Serena is trying to build her own through these handmaids and stuff like that. So I love the compare and contrast between them two. Moira and Lily, they talk about June and Luke, about their relationship, and you can definitely tell that there's most likely, I get a strong feeling, there's going to be some future lovers. We have, like, in the next few episodes, I believe, some type of relationship going on between Moira and Lily. I can definitely sense it. But then again, I forgot. I think, doesn't Moira have a lover already, I believe? Isn't she with somebody? I think so. Like, when she left Gilead, she ended up being with somebody. I forgot, it's some woman, so I could be wrong. But I could have sworn, I think she already had somebody. But if she doesn't, I definitely can clearly tell that there's going to be something between her and Lily. You can just smell the relationship brewing between them two. You can smell through the screen. There's most likely going to be some type of relationship between the two. So yeah, that's my predictions. There's going to be some type of romance between Lily and Moira, if Moira isn't already with her previous lover. I remember seeing her with last season. So Luke and June, they see a guy that was hung in the forest. I believe that he was from Gilead. I think that's I could be getting this wrong. I think that's some guy that the ladies hung or something like that. I guess, I don't know. He had I don't even know if I can even say the word because YouTube is really weird, but had his crime that he committed against women that was written on him. So I believe he was maybe a servant from Gilead, one of the men from Gilead that was controlling one of the handmaids, I believe. I don't know. I guess that's who that guy was. I wasn't really sure. If anybody knows, comment below, please, because I don't remember a whole lot from before season 4. So yeah, I'm not sure who that was supposed to be. Serena sees other women who seem to be wanting children and look at her like it's some type of miracle, or at least they look at her baby as a miracle. They're all rubbing against her belly, so they I guess look at her or maybe her child as a miracle. Maybe she only has this power because of her pregnancy. I'm assuming, so we'll see. Mrs. Putnam, we have a flashback of Mrs. Putnam showing Serena some kids who were quote unquote saved from, I guess, some unfit mothers. Like I said, this is a flashback, and like I said, it's the irony that June loses her family, and Serena is going to basically take one. She's trying to take one of these kids to build up her own family. So I love the compare and contrast between those two. You know, Luke and June, they meet this kid named Jaden in the woods is coming to help them. They first think that this guy, they think something's off with him, something's a little suspicious, but they decide to go with him, to figure out what they can get from him. I think that was the one they were supposed to be meeting. I believe they were talking about earlier in this episode. So he's supposed to be the one, I think, exchanging messages, I believe. So yeah, so Serena talks with Lawrence and Warren Putnam on the phone about the drama that happened between her and June. There's definitely rising tension going on there. There's going to be a problem, and they're kind of bothered by that. But Serena seems like she's downplaying it. Then she talks about wanting to make the building a fertility center, and Mr. Putnam doesn't like it. He also doesn't want anyone coming back to Gilead. I believe people that have like escaped from Gilead. I think he says something that he doesn't want them to come back. I could be getting that wrong. I think that's what he said. And he doesn't want any outside forces coming into Gilead. And Lawrence tries to basically stop him and change his mind, but Mr. Putnam is not trying to hear any of that. So I'm assuming that my prediction is that there's definitely going to be some future tension between Lawrence and Mr. Putnam, some type of friction going on there, maybe some type of battle going to happen between these two. I don't know exactly when, but I can definitely tell that Lawrence is one of the only voices of reason in Gilead to try to change things to the better to some extent. Him and also Lydia, but of course, they don't particularly get along. If they did get along, maybe they could be able to both work together to really change things in Gilead. But they can only do so much. So yeah. So I definitely feel like my prediction is that there's going to be some type of conflict between Lawrence and Mr. Putnam. I believe we can definitely tell something's going to happen between those two. Jaden brings Luke and June to what looked to be a bar that was from the 1970s, but it was a bowling alley. Well, really like a bowling alley from the 1970s. He tells them about Hannah's status, how she's doing, and she's currently fine, but they have a different type of school going on here where they're dressed in different colors. But for now, she seems to be okay, and then he decides to offer them shelter because it's not safe for them to be out, and they bowl. I personally thought that maybe Jaden was going to be some type of guy, like some type of wolf in sheep clothing, pretending to be good, but really had other plans or whatever for them. But he actually ended up genuinely being a good guy. Let him bowl and stay for the night. He genuinely seemed like a good person. He doesn't remember much about his life before Gilead, which is pretty shocking. June finds his pure nature to be strange since he's from Gilead. And I thought that would have been a possible, hint that maybe something was off about him, but he genuinely was a cool dude. So I like that. I like he didn't turn around and try to betray them or anything like that. So, and then Luke decides to sing Al Green and dance with June. And of course, the kid, he don't know much of his life before Gilead. He doesn't know who Al Green is. So, yeah, look at that. Serena also finds out in this episode that she doesn't have as much power as she thought she did. She can't leave her building that she's in and on orders from Mr. Wheeler, and can't even interact with one of the women that was, I guess, her friend here. She doesn't have any power as she thought she did. She has to basically just stay in this place, what looks to be like a prison of some sort. As you can see from the way that they shot the scene, when she sees that she can't go to hang out with her friend, she walks and she's when the way they filmed the scene, there's bars in front of her to clearly make it look like it's a prison that she's in, because literally she isn't one. A very nice prison, but nevertheless, it's a prison she's in. So yeah, there's that. So it's not exactly what she assumed it was going to be, but then we see flashbacks of Aunt Lydia introducing handmaids to Serena, and Serena feels definitely uncomfortable with the whole situation, having to pick from these types of women, and she just definitely doesn't feel comfortable with it, but she ends up deciding to pick one. I'm assuming the one she picked was June, and she just feels really, you can tell she feels really uncomfortable with the whole situation, but she has to pick. So I like seeing flashbacks of these characters of stuff that we didn't see. I love the way they do that though. Seeing these flashbacks. Then Serena ends up finally getting what she wanted, her fertility center from Mr. Wheeler. She's finally able to get her plan set to wanting to do that for Gilead, so she's able to get her way with that. But Serena has become sort of almost like, I feel like, a handmaid herself, because she just has no real anything she can really do. At least handmaids are able to at least walk out in the streets. They couldn't clearly leave Gilead, but at least they're able to maybe roam around. She can't really do anything, so she's almost like a pregnant handmaid herself. Except she definitely hasn't dealt with any cruel treatment. She just can't do anything, and she's trapped. Um, she's even forced to take medication. Then they seem that they care about her, but it seemed like it's only because she's pregnant. So I do question how they treat her after she becomes pregnant. Would they just stop caring? Is it only like this because she's pregnant, or maybe her status is permanent? Maybe they'll always treat her like this, but it definitely feels like in this episode she's being treated like a glorified handmaid, basically. And then also she can't even have a cell phone either. So it just shows that with any little good thing that she may be able to experience while living in Mr. Wheeler's nice house, she's restricted with things she can do. She can't leave the place, she can't hang out with nobody, can't have a cell phone. It's like she's a grown teenager almost, basically on punishment or something. So yeah, so she sort of has power a little bit, I guess, or the illusion of power while she's pregnant. So she can only do a certain amount of stuff. Then Jaden ends up walking June and Luke through the field at night in this episode to take them. I'm not sure where he was taking them to. I don't remember. If anybody remember, please comment below. And he ends up stepping on the landmine, and we don't really know what's going to happen here. Next thing you know, he completely blows his leg off, so that's done. I'm happy he didn't die, but his leg that's done. So definitely, there's probably going to be no bowling for him anytime soon. But anyway. So that ends up happening, and Luke and June try to help him out, but they end up hearing some noise coming. So they end up having to put a tourniquet on him so he doesn't bleed out, and then they just have to leave him. So they run off, but unfortunately, as they flee, they end up getting caught. And then that's when the episode ends with a little bit of Al Green playing in the background. So this episode was a crazy one. Like I said, say about every episode, the show was crazy, and this was another crazy episode. I'm not sure what's going to happen with them when they're being caught, but it's definitely not going to be good with them being in enemy territory. So, yeah, this was a wild episode. I'm hoping that Jaden ends up surviving. I hope he doesn't end up, going through any worse because he already lost his legs. So, yeah, episode was pretty wild. Like I said, I believe there's going to be some tension between Lawrence, Mr. Putnam. We still don't know what's going on when it comes down to Esther. We don't know if she's still alive or not. But yeah, that's going to feel like there's also predictions that there's going to be some type of romance between Lily and Moira. If Moira isn't with her original girl, I believe she was with. She had a girlfriend last season, so if she's not with her, definitely I can tell. My prediction is that, of course, her and Lily might end up hooking up, or they might be good friends, possibly. That would be different, though, if they become friends. But yeah, this episode was really good. If you like this video, like, comment, subscribe, share the video. I'll be doing a review of everything that's The Handmaid's Tale of this season. So thanks for watching my video.